Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this topic today. The topic is very simply, are you owning the calling that's on your life? Are you showing up tall for your dream, for your highest and tallest vision? I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant, and I know for a fact that your life will be exponentially so much more fulfilling if you decide to go for the things that you see in your mind's eye. Now, you already have the talent, you have the skill, and the ability to do whatever it is. But the question is, do you have the guts? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm so excited to do this quick live, and it's going to be quick. I've got 5 simple points that I know will support you and hopefully shake your shoulders and get you to really start thinking about, am I really owning the calling that's on my life, or am I playing small? 5 simple variables that I'm going to share here that I know will absolutely support you. All right. When I got started my business 21 years ago, it was a question that I had to ask myself. There was the thing that I wanted to do, which seemed so unrealistic, like be a mom coach at that time. There were no other mom coaches. You didn't hear, that wasn't something that was very common 21 years ago. And sometimes when you're thinking about doing that thing that's really different, or that's the standout thing, you can generate a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of insecurity, and never launch the thing that you're meant to do. And I want to talk about 5 reasons tonight that I have found that people typically don't go for it and own the calling on their life. Now, I hope as a direct result of hearing this live tonight, this will really support you in making a change. That's my goal. All right. And if you hear anything, whether you hear this live or you hear this as a replay, I want you to, to just comment and let me know where you are on your journey of owning the calling that's on your life. The reality is that living a life that I would say that's fulfilling is your birthright. And sometimes we get so used to or conditioned doing things that we kind of like, but we don't love. And so much so that we believe that it's not possible any longer to play outside of the lines or to go for our dream. It could be that as a result of what you've done professionally, and you're really amazing at what you do, and everyone knows you and sees you as the rock star. But the fact of the matter is, there's this other thing that you really want to do, but you're afraid. You're afraid of the judgment from others because doing something that's unconventional or outside of the box or outside of what you're doing right now, most people would say, "Are you crazy? You have it all." But you know that there's something more for you. I'm talking to you. Or it could look like, you know, you're doing what you want to do, but you're not serving at the highest and tallest level. And it means that you've just decided, I'm going to start this business, but I'm not really going to do this business as large as I could. I'm just going to see if it works. And maybe you've articulated that. And if that's you, this live is absolutely going to be for you. Or maybe it's time for you to be honest with yourself. You haven't been honest with yourself. And because you are the person coaching yourself, it is the reason that you haven't been honest. You are settling in your life and with your dreams and your gifts, and you know it. And whether that settling looks like the work that you're doing or the work that you've chosen to do or how you've structured your business that's made you compromise living a life that you desire, could be you, right? Like, so this is going to help you. So I'm going to get started how to own the calling on your life. Here are the 5 points. Number one is, the first thing you have to do is recognize the assignment. And this is one of those things that so many people, they don't recognize the assignment. So if you're going to own a calling on your life, the key is not to overlook what the assignment is. And how do you know? Like, a lot of times, it's confusing, right? Like, how do you know what you've been called to do or what your assignment is? I can only say for myself, and I've coached so many other women who initially didn't know what they were meant to do, let's say. But one of the easiest ways that you can find your assignment is you look at the thing that you naturally do all the time in your free time, that you're always thinking about, what you're always reading. And most often, it will lead you in the direction of that calling, the gift, and the talents that you have. I'll give you an example. If I were in, when my kids were very young, if I were in a mall and I would have all these women that would come up to me and they liked the way I interacted with my kids, the way I dialogued with them. They liked the way I mommed, right? And so your gifts will often make room for you. And it means that other people will also say to you, like, how do you do that? Or I love the way that you do that. Or you should write a book about that. This was a topic for me. Mothering was a topic that people over and over and over again would ask me about, even when I wasn't thinking about, anything as it related to business. Ask yourself right now, what is it that people are always asking you advice for, always commenting on something that you're doing at work? Someone's saying, man, that was so awesome what you did. What kind of compliments are you naturally getting? Think about, what are you doing in your free time just naturally you have interest in. I'll give another example to make it just real time so that you can own the calling on your life. A couple years ago, my husband and I renovated our home. And in doing that, we had a house flood and had to renovate the whole house. And as a result of that experience, which was massive, I had to pick a lot of the things that we had to decorate the house with. Now, prior to that, I had average skills, like average skills as it relates to decorating. As a result of having to pick so many things for my home, from fixtures to tiles to paint colors to grout colors, obviously appliances and things like that, I grew and in my knowledge, in my ability, in my skill set. Today, okay, I have, since that experience, renovated several other properties, whether it's someone else's kitchen or someone else's bathroom, because your gifts make room for you, meaning you have an ability and a talent. And when people see that gift and those talents, they want some of it. So ask yourself, what is the thing that people want some of from you, right? So, and it's funny because it's not even anything that I've done professionally. It's just that as a result of me renovating my own home, I have now a great understanding and a great eye on how to do it over and over again. And so typically when you're really when you lean into being all of who you are, your calling will make room for you, right? So I want you to think about you. So the first one is recognize the assignment, because in order for you to own the calling that's on your life, you've got to recognize the assignment. There's no doubt about it. And I say that, I was just saying to one of my girlfriends I had dinner with last night, I said, one of the things that I think I'm going to do for fun is I think I'm going to take a design class, because I actually really like design. I never knew that I really liked design until I renovated my home, and I'm really good at it. And now that I've done several friends, their kitchens, and help them really lay things out and figure out the colors and the tiles and whatever's going to, I think it's fun. I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. So your gifts will usually make room for you. It's usually something that you naturally like to do. You're doing it in your free time. I was like looking at pictures a million times, over and over again. Even in my free time, it's just fun. So think about that. So number one, recognize the assignment. Number two is commit without attachment and conditions to whatever that calling is, right? So when you have a calling that's on your life, uh, commit to it without any attachment. Like, am I going to be really great? Will I have a million clients? How do I know that this is going to work? So one of the things that gets in the way of people really being able to own the calling on their life is because they have attachments. They want things to go a certain way in order for them to move to the next step or even to start. And maybe this is you, right? But what if you decided, I'm just going to play? Right? I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to do and use my talents in the highest and truest ways and see what happens without any attachments, meaning it has to look a certain way. And I found for myself that that's been one of the greatest gifts in being able to have the freedom in my business is I've always not been attached to the outcomes, meaning when I started as a mom coach, I didn't know how I was going to coach moms. I actually didn't know when I coached them by visiting their homes. And the answer was yes. I made house calls also. Was I going to coach them from my home, right, virtually on the phone? Yeah. Was I going to use? We didn't have Zoom back then. Was I going to use some kind of teleconference line? Yeah, okay. So I didn't have attachments. I was just open. And I knew that I had the skill and this talent, and I didn't allow not knowing the exact way or path to get in the way of my delivery. And I think for so many people, it's the reason that they don't own the calling on their life. They feel like they need to know everything in order for them to move forward. They have paralysis analysis, right? And they're trying to get things just right. If you just commit without attachment, I think one of the things you'll find is that things will find their natural way, and you'll get to use your talents and your gifts, and you'll figure out what works for you. And everything, you can figure out everything when you move into it. You can't figure out things just thinking about them and making it an intellectual exercise. You can figure it out by actually doing it. Does this make sense? All right. Is this supporting you? All right. So today we're talking about how to own the calling that's on your life. And it literally is just about how do you stand tall for yourself and really play outside of the lines instead of inside of the lines, which right now might not give you as much joy and fulfillment to be all of who you are with your gifts and your talent. Number one, I said the first thing you want to do is recognize your talent. You need to recognize what the assignment is. But a lot of us have the talent and skill is this close to us, so we don't see it. We don't know that it's the gift because we can do so many things well that we don't know how to identify what the thing is. And I found for myself, I just listen for the frequency. What people come to me and say, hey, uh, can you show me how to do this, Mia? I've been watching how you do this or that. Can you teach me how to do that? And that is usually my guide. Number two, I commit without attachments, right? So I'm not going to be so fixed on things having to look a certain way, but I'm just going to start, and I'm going to organically allow the process to work, and I'll find the mode to deliver whatever it is that I'm offering along that journey that's right for me. Number three, you need to do the work and become accountable to ensure consistency. Now, this is probably the biggest reason why people don't own the calling that's on their life. People who own the calling that's on their life, typically they do the work, right? They put in the work and they have some level of accountability so that they are consistent. And I want to break this down for a minute. Let me just use something like exercise. So, whenever you have a personal trainer, someone that you're going to meet at the gym, you're going to be a lot more consistent because you are held accountable. And it goes without saying. And I want you to think about this as it relates to your ideas and your dreams and your goals and just flat changing your life. I think so many people underestimate investing in themselves at the highest level so you can change your life by changing your habits and how you show up. The reality is that over the years, I've invested a lot of money in myself so that I could show up and be tall for myself, so I could learn things that I just did not know how to do, or so that I could be accountable and be a better me. And the question is, if you want to own the calling on your life, currently, what investments are you making that are holding you accountable and getting you to become more consistent? And I find that if you don't have that, or you're not in community with people who are like that, it's easy to be in the comfort of your own home and coaching yourself and telling yourself you're going to do things that you actually haven't done. Like if you think about it right now, whatever the outcome is, whatever the goal is that you have, the question is, why haven't you done it already? You probably haven't accomplished the goal not because of your skill and your talent. It's likely because you don't have the accountability and the consistency to show up for yourself. And I want to keep this 100% with you. You know, having a coach, having a mentor that you are accountable with and to can change your life. And I'm always surprised by people who want to be really successful, but hem and haw around holding themselves accountable. The question is, do you want it or don't you want it? Do you want it fast or do you want it slow? And and I think that what I've seen over the years, really successful people usually make the time, make the investments in themselves so that they can speed up their life process by having the accountability and becoming more consistent, right? It's a muscle, and it's a muscle that we all have to build. You know, it's like if I have a trainer making me do burpees, which I hate to do, by the way, but if I had to do burpees, now if I have to do those burpees on my own in my gym downstairs. Okay, let's just and the trainer's on the tonal and he's doing the burpees. I'm gonna do as many as I can, but I probably also am not gonna do it as hard as I would if I had a trainer that said, "Come on, let's one more, let's do it." Come on, because the trainer is there that as a coach to get you to push you, to guide you, to get you to overcome your thoughts about how hard something is, how difficult it is, how much you don't want to do it, all of the things that get in the way of being successful. And I'm always surprised by sharp and smart people who are really successful, in their own right in one way, but as it relates to running their company, not recognizing the need, right, to have that level of accountability. And sometimes what has gotten in the way is just simply being smart, right? Like I can figure it out and not realizing like you're wasting your time. You could have closed a gigantic contract by the time you read this manual, looked at this video, or watched this series or whatever it is. All right. So it's time to get real with yourself and make that decision if you want to own the calling on your life, right? Get the accountability that you need so you can be consistent. Be unapologetic about it. Proactively seek the solutions that you need. Number 4. All right. Are you getting it? All right. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? And if it's making sense, I want you to just simply write it's making sense. Number 4, acknowledge your fears honestly and consume them one by one. So if you want to own the calling that's on your life, there are going to be things that are going to make you afraid. When you talk about big goals, big dreams, thinking outside of the box and grabbing what it is that you want. And even though you don't, sometimes with a big dream or a great vision, you can't explain to someone step by step how you're going to accomplish it, right? Because you'll learn as you go in the process. I know for me, with many things that I've done over the years, I could have never given someone a laundry list of these are all the things that I'm going to do. There was an organic process that happened along the way as I leaned tall into my own dream. And the same will be true for you. But you have to acknowledge your fears. There are fears that come from the unknown. There are fears from deciding to be great. There's fear that happens from deciding to go from charging by the hour to now saying, look, that'll be 50 grand per client or 75 grand per client. If you've never done that before, right, it could be very scary. So acknowledging that fear and being honest about it. Hey there, darling, right? And being honest about it. And then you consume them one by one, meaning that, whenever I have those fears, I say, okay, I'm going to answer that fear with an action, right? So I'm never going to allow my fear to dismantle what it is that I'm going to do, my habits, my action, my vision. I'm going to literally say, okay, this is the thing that I'm afraid of. What do I need to do to be a person that can show up and face this thing head on? There's no one that accomplishes great dreams without fear. And I think that is something really important to understand. And if you've been trying to do it the other way, thinking, I'm going to accomplish this big goal, but I'm going to do it when I'm ready. Okay, most people who accomplish big goals, they get ready, they grow into the readiness as they are leaning into the goal. So you consume it one by one, you solve it one by one, right? Okay, overthinking and no action. Said recently, my friend said, I have analysis paralysis, overthinking, and no action. It's so important. And, it's important to understand that. Thank you for sharing. And I think one of the things that happens is, particularly with really smart people, Leandra, is that you're like, I can do this, right? And so you start thinking about all the things that can happen and how you could do it, and if you did this, and if you're a person that consumes a lot of social media, that kind of thing, it can also be very confusing, right? Because there's so many shiny things, and that can also make you not trust yourself and your gut. And so for me, I've always just tried to lean into truth, like for myself, what feels right and who feels right and who's living at a level that's congruent with my beliefs. And that's how I've always made the decisions of who my mentors are going to be, my teachers, my coaches, etc. Does that make sense? All right. So acknowledge your fears honestly, consume them one by one. Understand that you are going to be afraid if you're doing something gigantic. But when you do something gigantic and afraid, I can tell you you will actually get to live with a completely different gift. And that will be a new skill set. You'll have new beliefs about yourself. You'll look at yourself in ways that you won't even recognize who you are. And the only thing you can do is just say yes and then figure it out right along the way. That's why, to me, mentorship and coaching is so important, because we all have fear around those big things. And when you do, you need someone that can see you as you can be, that holds you accountable, that won't believe the excuses that we make that keep us from being great. And I am not interested in being in the company of people who are like, you're okay, you're fine, you're doing okay. I want to be around people who literally can see what that next level of possibility looks like for me, and they hold me accountable to my light, my dream, right? I want to be around people who love being around giants. And I can tell you that a giant is a person that has an ability and an appetite to do great and big things, and they enjoy being around other people equally who are doing great and amazing things, because it motivates them. I think one of the easiest ways to figure out if you're in the right environment or not, and if I'm not in the right environment, I immediately leave, is when you are in an environment that wants to stifle you, or that wants to um, mute your success and your story, right? The fact of the matter is, you're a giant in every single way, and you should be in environments where you can share all of who you are and be your gigantic and amazing self. Really important. And it's something that I love to curate for women. Is I've helped so many women over the years, hundreds of them, literally find their people, right? Whether they come to my live events or through my coaching programs, they found their people, because I love being in the company of giants. It's what I have an appetite for. And I really just don't have an appetite being around people who I would say have like thoughts, meaning they think small, or they think that there's only room for one person to be great, or they're takers. I love being around people who are action takers, go givers, go getters, and who really, really love to watch other people shine. And they are not the kind of people who understand or who feel because other people are shining that it means that they're not great, right? Because that's would be the essence of an insecure person. All right. Leandra, you're right. Totally makes sense. And this season, for the first time in my life, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. You got to step out of your comfort zone. And number five, we're talking today about owning the calling that's on your life. And number five is invest at a level that you can't walk away from. Invest at a level that you can't walk away from. And I'm going to talk about that for a second. Now, for a lot of people, they invest at a level that they can walk away from. And what I mean by that is, if you had to, I'm trying to think of something that, let's say you were getting your hair done and you were going to, we have two salons. We have one salon that you'd go to and you make an appointment, and you're going to get the works, right? You're going to get color, you're going to get cut, you're going to, maybe you're going to get some kind of waxing going on. You're going to get, I don't know, right? So you're getting the works. So salon number one, you're getting the works and you make the appointment, but you don't have any skin in the game. Okay. So the appointment's at 8 o'clock, and then you realize that morning that you're busy and you just decide you don't want to go and you just call and you cancel. Right. All right. Now, salon number two says, okay, you're getting the exact same service, but salon number two says, look, for your cut and your color and your waxing and your facial for the works, the same thing, you have to make a deposit and or you have to have a card on file. And if you don't show up, that they're going to charge you. All right. This is a great example. There's something that happens, okay? Somehow you will find that the salon where you had to commit with your credit card up front, you will show up for that appointment. You will not no show that appointment. Why? Because when you make investments that you can't walk away from, you don't walk away from them. And I want you to think about this. This is deep now. Okay. I want you to think about the investments that you've made over the years. And like maybe you invested in great things that were great, but you just didn't do it because you probably invested at such a low level that it didn't require you to show up. What if you invested in your dream in a way that you believed in your dream, right? Like at the highest and the tallest level. Like you invest in the full solution of what it is that you truly want, and that would be life changing for you, right? And I hope that this supports you in some way. For those of you who are, like you've made investments in your life, in your world, but you haven't really made serious investments around the dream. You haven't gotten serious. I do require every person that I work with to make investments at the highest level in themselves. And I don't want to work with people who don't believe in self investment at the highest level because what I have seen, there's a direct proportion between people who invest in themselves at the highest level and their action level. And people who don't invest at the highest level, they're not committal. They don't follow through. They're like, oh, I'll do it next week because they don't have to. Does that make sense? Think about it for your own business. Imagine if you were working with people who simply made investments because they wanted results. Completely different mindset versus people who were curious or just interested, right? So I hope that there's something that I said to you today that really supports you in understanding the power of owning the calling that's on your life. I'll recap really quickly for those of you who have just come. And if you've got an aha takeaway that you want to share, you can post it here. Number one, the first thing you want to do if you want to own the calling in your life is recognize the assignment. Recognize which of your expertise, your education, your experience, what is it that you have that would be the highest and tallest use to the world? And it's likely sitting right there in front of you right now. And it's the thing that people talk to you about over and over again. It's probably the thing that you do in your free time. And it's just something you have a great, deep interest in. And you're able to deliver an amazing result at the highest and tallest level. So recognize the assignment, see it as the assignment, and stop treating it as a hobby. Number two, commit without attachments to do the work to make and realize that dream, right? So don't be attached to how it has to look or how you have to get started or things having to be just perfect. When I think about the number of people who don't start their businesses quickly enough because they're like, I got to get the right logo, I've got to get the right website, I've got to get all these things just right. And you don't have to do that, but you can start, right? I have clients who close big deals and they've never even built their website yet because they just follow the principles of own the assignment. Let's package and price what you do at the highest and tallest level, and let's move in the direction, not of perfection, but of action, right? Because that's ultimately what people desire from you. Number three, do the work and become accountable because that will make you consistent. And whatever you got to do, right? Whoever you need to um, reach out to them, right? And I'd love to support you if you're looking for a coach and you're ready. You have to be ready. And you're like, I want accountability and consistency. Can you support me? Right? Obviously, I can do that if you are ready. You can go to miaredrick.com, my name, miaredrick.com, and you can always, sign up for a strategy session there and we can see how I can support you in your business. But you've got to have that consistency. And if you're talking about owning the calling on your life, you want to own the calling that's on your life, you how are you going to own the calling and not be consistent, right? Like that, they go hand in hand. Okay. If I want to have a flat stomach, and I do, all right, then the reality is that I've got to do likely some cardio for sure and some ab exercises for sure. All right. Now, I know for a fact that I'm going to do, hey there, Don, I'm going to do a lot more of those exercises if I have a coach and a mentor to guide me and to help me and to hold me accountable. And I think you could see the same is true for you. Number four, acknowledge your fears honestly and consume them one by one. So don't allow your fears to get in the way of you moving forward. We all have fears with any dream that we have. And the fact of the matter is, you just see what is making me afraid right now in this moment, okay? And you just deal with it one by one, okay? You just consume them one by one. And that's literally what I've done. And I've seen over the years where people become so inundated by their fears that they don't move at all. And so from one year to the next year, then they're in the exact same place. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, my personal examples. When I started my business, I decided, this is 21 years ago, I want to work from the comfort of my home. Now, here's the thing. This is very radical at this time because no one was working from the comfort of their home, really. Okay. So like today, post COVID, a lot of people are working from home, right? But 21 years ago, this is the vision I have. And this is the way I want to work. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. It's not any guarantees. But remember, I told you to commit without attachments. And I just moved in the direction of what I wanted to do. And I have been able to build a business from the comfort of my home. Now, the funny thing is, over time, I've changed my model so many times. I decided just, what was it, maybe a year or so ago, that I was like, what I want to do is coach my clients around the world. That's what I want to do. When I travel, I want to coach my clients. I want to bring them along and I want to coach them. And I want to create immersive experiences for women so that they understand how to be outside of the box, and that their best work is being able to see and experience at the highest and tallest level so that they can be congruent in their services that they're offering. I can deliver that to them, traveling with them around the world and sharing with them some of the things that have really created tremendous inspiration for me. It's a radical thought. I don't know if anyone wants to come with me around the world. I don't know if anyone wants to do this. And yet I stepped right into it. And you know what? It absolutely works. And yes, clients said yes. And yes, that is a great model. Equally, I said, hey, one of the things that I want to do, all my life, I had built this business and I worked from the comfort of my home. And I said, I want to have an office outside of my home, and I want to do VIP days and in this place, and it's my studio, and I'll produce clients and this way. It's just what I wanted to do, right? And I wanted this environment that was super soft and feminine and not a hard male model, right? Because a lot of we hotels and things like that and office space setup is so masculine today. And I wanted something really soft for my clients. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And you know what? I stepped into that and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And that model has just taken off in tremendous ways. You've got to trust yourself to do the things. You're never going to have confirmation that those things are going to work. You just do it. And when you do it, you'll see that, the proof of concept that you're wondering is waiting on you to say yes to the idea. I have an event that's coming up, and some of you guys know. It's called the Cell Method. I'll post it here. And the Cell Method is happening November 10th through 12th. And it's based on a proprietary system that I built for myself over the last 15 years, what I've done exactly to be able to sell from the comfort of my home and have my ideal clients come directly to me and ask me for the sale. And I'm breaking it all down, every single component of what it looks like. And in addition to that, inviting an incredible group of entrepreneurs as mentors to mentor you. One of the mentors who's been my mentor over the last probably 15 years or so is an only entrepreneur I personally know who has grown two companies to over $100 million. And she's absolutely incredible. First company, when she started that company at the age of 28, grew the company to $125 million. And that company became a public company on NASDAQ, publicly traded. She now has another company, has done exactly the same thing. Wall Street Journal just recently featured her. I wanted to introduce women just like you to people who are so incredible and outside of the box and who are doing these kind of things, right? And you can't find that. You have a lot of fake grades, right? Fake grades, right? Today in the space, fake grades. But I want to introduce you to people who are proven. And, those are the kind of people that I love to learn from. And you're going to love meeting Joyce. She's absolutely incredible. And I can tell you for sure that having the opportunity to talk to an entrepreneur, I mean, who's ever had an opportunity to talk to an entrepreneur who's had two companies over $100 million, right? Proven, right? That literally, right? So I am so excited about that. Also, I have a speaker that's coming as a mentor, and Damon has done. He started as a talent agent many years ago, and he did the development deals for the shows Pawn Stars and the Dog Whisperers. Those deals were over $100+ million development deals, huge. And he's going to be teaching how to take your ideas and how to license them. He licensed furniture and does partnerships with like Home Shopping Network and just so many really great things that he knows how to do on the licensing side that could really support many of you being able to take your idea of what you want to do and be able to learn a whole new way to be able to monetize in this era, in this time. It's out of the box. And I have another speaker who's coming who's awesome, who supported me tremendously. He's going to teach you how to use AI to generate greater leads and how to do that on Facebook and LinkedIn. And he's incredible. He supports the top 1% of 1%er coaches online. And he's their guy that teaches them how to build out their campaigns. And he's just always been such a tremendous resource and mentor to me and coach to me over the years, like the last 8 or 9 years, really changed my business and someone I absolutely trust. And I'm excited to be able to share people who've made a difference in my life with you, right? So I hope that this supports you. And I would love to see you guys at the Cell Method. Part mindset for sure, because to step into your next level, you've got to think differently. And there's no way you're going to step into, wherever you are right now and double what you're doing right now, thinking the same. The goal is for you to change what you know and how you think about what you know, right? Like literally. And you can only do that being in the room. You can't do that gleaning something. You can't do that copying something. It comes from being in an environment that's your own elevation, ambition level and above, right? And it will elevate you 100%. And I hope this absolutely supports you. So you have to acknowledge your fears, and you've got to also invest at a level that you can't walk away from, right? It's in Baltimore, Maryland. So I can pull it up for you too. Let me show you. And 1 second. One second. Okay, let me pull it up and then I can show you. Hopefully you guys can still see me. All right, 1 second. All right. Wait a minute. I'm gonna try this again. Oh yeah. 1 second. All right, here we go. Okay. So the event is all about shifting your life and your business to be the best version ever. And I think that, it's not just about your business. Like it's about shifting your life and your business and you being the best version of you ever. And to do that, I can't think of a better way to do that other than to be in the company of people who can help you be a better version because they've been a better version. And, one strategy obviously can change your life. This is what my clients have shared as a result of working with me. I've coached thousands of women over the last 21 years. And most of the women that I've worked with had no idea what they were going to do prior to working with me. And they had to figure out for themselves what the assignment was and the calling on their life. And it is a direct result of us working together. They figured it out. They figured out what is the thing that I can do using my talents and my gifts and my experience. And how do I play outside of the lines with my gifts and my talents? Many of them had no idea, like not a clue what they would do, what they would launch, what their product would be, and they've done significantly as a result of working with me. You are going to shift your life in a weekend, and that's my goal. My events are like legendary for that reason. It's no fluff. We're not doing dance breaks. I'm sorry. They're not noise makers. I don't do all of that. I teach you the entire time you're there. And my goal is to help you if you want greater freedom, if you want proven strategy, if you want to be around people your own ambition level and above, if you want to have systematic ways to package what you do as a high ticket service, if you want to know how to close what you do, if you want to be more confident making offers, right? And this is for you. People have gotten tremendous results working with me. And I can't guarantee what your results will be because I don't know you. But I can tell you that if you're willing to do the work, I will show you what you need to know. And you will be in community with people your own ambition level and above. And for many, you would have never met any group of people like this ever in your life. 3 days designed to elevate your strategy, your knowledge, and your implementation. And that is what it's about to me. You need a strategy that you can implement that works. And everything that will be taught, if you implement it, it will work. You need knowledge from people who are proven. And that is so important to me. And I vetted the best of the best experts that I know are high integrity people who I can trust with you. And that's really important to me, that I put you in front of individuals who I know when they're sharing with you what they're doing, they're going to take great care of you and they're not looking to exploit you in any way. Very important to me. And implementation, holding you accountable, making sure you do the thing that you say you want to do and that you've got a system to do it. Here are the event mentors. And I just told you about each of these guys and what they do. Joyce is an incredible entrepreneur, and Damon and Dan, and it's an honor to be able to bring them to you as the speaker mentors over the course of the days. And my clients, they learn how to monetize their degrees, their education, their background, their experience. It's what I'm into, right? It's what I'm going to teach you to do, right? So the weekend will provide you a community of giants. So if you're comfortable being around other people, get yourself comfortable being around people your own ambition level and above. And it's going to reintroduce you to possibilities that feel good, right? So you're not going to be in conflict around how you're going to work and somebody telling you that in order for you to monetize what you got to do, you got to run all over the place and have a million speaking engagements. And maybe you just don't want to do that. Maybe you want to know how to build your business in a way that's time rich. And it's what I've done. I'm going to show you how to release those toxic work models that have you trading time for dollars, right? Because there's another way to be able to earn. And I'd love to show you how to do that. And I'm going to also show you high ticket models that you can use with your intellect so that you are not trading time for dollars. Again, these women have just shared their story. Connie, actually, this contract, she closed $24,000 within weeks, but this contract was actually a 6-figure contract. And just this year, she had the opportunity to speak at the White House in her area of expertise. So how cool is that, right? We're pretty cool. And the Sell Method agenda will cover the following things, right? So you're going to get clear on how to stand in your value. You're going to learn how to build a business around your life instead of the other way. These are the things that are not taught. That's why so many people, they build work that they want to run away from. I want you to build a life that you want to step into because you were intentional around it. And that's what we do. And we identify and face what scares you from showing up big in your purpose and your passion and your business. And you will become congruent with your highest intentions, right? So the thing that you really want to do, becoming super super congruent with that. And you can't be congruent if you got a big dream, but you're operating in it in a small way, right? So I'm just all about it, right? You'll learn how to package your offer so individuals, agencies, corporations, and media will want to partner with you. And I have clients who have never done media before, who, as a result of working with me, have done all types of media. I have clients who've never pitched to corporations before. As a result of learning my pitching formulas to corporations and agencies, they have secured high ticket contracts. And you'll learn the same thing. You're going to learn how to position your influence, your messaging, and experience to attract your ideal audience. And you'll learn my step-by-step process of how I make offers online and offline. And it's going to show you how to improve your close rate. If you're already selling, you're not selling it at exceptional ways, you'll learn it. You're going to learn to pitch and sell and close. And then also, it's all about profitability as well, right? Clarity happens when you know what to focus on. So you're going to just learn the mindset of what it takes to charge high ticket. And you're going to learn how to identify what priorities are. And I think that's why having really incredible entrepreneurs in front of you really helps you to understand how they think, because they think differently. And a lot of times we don't think about that. Most of the time you go to an event, there's a C-list speaker on the stage. They're just two steps ahead of you. I want to bring you individuals who have done things that are absolutely incredible and that you would not ordinarily have access to, unless you have this kind of event. So see it for what it is and say yes. And then on Friday night, we do a girls' night soiree, right? So we go out and we have a really great time of just food and fellowship and connection. And I think you'll really love having the opportunity to connect with other giants. And I'm excited about that for you as well. When you sign up, you have two options. You can do general admission. Right now, we have early bird savings of $500. Okay, general admission tickets are $14.97 with the early bird savings. Okay, and VIP ticket is $19.97 with the early bird savings. So you save $500. All right. So the biggest difference is in they both have 3 days of full conference access. Both levels have access to the Giant Night Girls Night Out soiree or soiree, and they both have access to the Sell Method training guide. Okay. However, the VIP ticket, you get reserved seats, you get a VIP questionnaire session, VIP Q&A session with me. You also get lunches included every day. Okay. And then you get your bag and your workbook for the event, and you get a VIP post-event debrief call. So they both have payment plan options. Okay. If you decide to do, let me just click here so you can see. If you decide to do the VIP option, you can do a payment plan, 2 payments of $998.50 or 1 payment of $1997 if you decide to purchase while we have the early bird special, right? Obviously, if you go beyond early bird, then you'll pay full price, right? $24.97. If you do the general ticket, the payment plan is $749. There are 2 payments of $749 a ticket, and the paying full price is $14.97. So really obtainable for what you're getting. So I'm gonna stop sharing, go back over here, find you guys. Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. So that's the event. That's the Sell Method. And if you have any questions, even if you're watching this as a replay and you have questions, just post them here and I will answer them. If you have any questions here live, you can post them and I'll answer them. But I'm so excited, right? You offer online for the program in November. So this event is not going to be online. This event is going to be an in-person event, Leandra. However, I do have a masterclass that is 100% online. And it is called the Giant Experience. Let me grab it for you. It's a my signature masterclass. You can do it as a self-study. I'm not going to pull it up here because you'll be able to take a peek for yourself, but I'll just post the link here for you to be able to see it. Um, but it's an incredible masterclass. It's run since 2019. I've had hundreds of clients come through this masterclass. Collectively, clients have earned millions of dollars as a result of the deals they've closed coming out of this training. My classes are not fluff. They are there. The intention is for you to generate income at the highest and tallest level. And if you can't be in the room, then definitely training with me online is awesome. For the Giant Experience Master Training, you have two options. You can either do the master training and just do the class by yourself, or you can choose to do the master training, Leandra, also, and select there's a 1 day coaching session that I do that goes along with this. So you have two options. You can either choose, I just want to do the course, and I'll do it as a self-study, or you can do it as a self-study and also come for the coaching day. And there are two different prices when you go to the website to be able to see that. But it's an incredible masterclass. You'll be able to see the testimonial reel that goes along with it. It's about 4 hours long of clients just sharing the kind of results and transformation that they've been able to create working with me. And it's something that I feel really good about. I only sell things that I know I can do, right? Like, and I know how to take what someone's doing and how to help them package what they're doing and to sell it for high ticket. We've done it over and over and over again. So if that's something of interest to you, this will really support you. Any final questions, comments, thoughts, anything like that that I could support you with? All right. Did you get value, or did you get value tonight? My only goal was to come here and, as always, just shake your shoulders a little bit. And I had missed you guys because I did go live on Monday, but I had a contact lens stuck in my eye. I was doing a trial for contacts, and I had a contact lens that was stuck in my eye for like a lot of days, right? And it was just the craziest thing. I ended up having to go to the doctors and the whole thing. So I just felt out of sorts, like all week, like I was moving in slow motion. Because if you can't really see the way that you want to, it just impacts everything, right? So, so I wanted to come on tonight because I'm so happy that I can see. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful that I can see. Okay, like literally, I'm so happy. So I hope that you got value, and I thank you, Leandra, for staying the whole way. If you have any questions, let me know. Go to miaredrick.com, and you'll see, how to book a strategy session with us, and we can support you and answer any questions that you have about what next steps might look like for you. All right. I love you guys. Have a great and amazing night. Talk to you soon. Bye, Leandra.